Hello boys and girls, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well, I hope you enjoyed that game as much as I did. I know I say that every week, well for the past 3 weeks, because that's 3 wins on the bounce, which is tremendous news. Before I get started, I would like to just quickly make a comment about the messages or the comments made about Michael Flynn and his family before the game. Reference him picking Ryan Taylor, and as we all know, Ryan Taylor does get a lot of slack from us fans and a lot of stick. And maybe it's deserved, maybe it's not. Maybe it shocked me when I saw his name on the team sheet, but by no means at all is it acceptable to make certain claims towards Michael Flynn and his family, and that, you know, personal life and business life, or professional and personal life, should absolutely be kept apart. And Michael Flynn's family should never be brought into it, no matter how strongly you disagree with the decisions he makes. And that's all I'll say on that. Then we'll get started. Yes, it's a Sunday. Yes, I've got work in the morning, but I'm still in celebratory mode, because that was a brilliant game of football. That was fantastic. That was Newport County of old. That was a I wouldn't go so far as a thrashing, but that was a comfortable, convincing, strong team effort. 3 different goal scorers. That was fantastic football. And if we want any chance of reaching a playoff spot, or even an automatic promotion spot come the end of the season, it's more of that which we're going to need. We played a very, very strong Morecambe team, and we all know how well they're doing, and how threatening they play. And it's just absolutely fantastic that we went there and absolutely dominated. Maybe helped on by the red card, potentially, but maybe not. Even when they had 11 men on the field, we were still playing brilliant football. And I've got my notes again that my kids have also drawn on, so I'm not going to pretend I'm rattling this all off from the top of my head, because I'm absolutely not. As I've already mentioned, the Ryan Taylor thing was a bit of a shock, and literally as soon as I saw the team sheet on my little piece of paper, I've put Taylor, ? And I put a little confused face, because that's how in-depth my note-taking goes. And it was an odd decision, it really was. Because he's not performed fantastically. But, I mean, who are we going to play instead of him? Have we got someone that we can put on instead of Ryan Taylor, who's going to absolutely make a massive difference? Maynard, you know, he's a good footballer and his assist was fantastic. But these past couple of weeks or months since he's been with us, he's not proved himself to me personally. Maybe he has to you, but I'm under the impression he takes a decent wage, and, you know, he's a proven footballer. But he's not proven himself at Newport County yet, so maybe picking Ryan Taylor was the wrong thing to do. We won the game and Ryan Taylor had a pretty decent game, so maybe it was the right thing to do, and maybe that's Michael Flynn's genius working overtime. The game was, in the first half, it was pretty open. I don't think anybody sort of did anything crazy. My hair, Jesus. Or sort of shone from either team. It was a well matched game for the first opening however many minutes. But then obviously the 8th minute we get a penalty, and I think, was it a handball? It absolutely was a handball. Handball in the box. Ref points straight to the spot. Matty Dolan steps up, and of course he slots it away. So it's 3 goals in 2 games. That's not so bad for a centre back, is it? Not so bad at all. Super Matty Dolan, we all love him. And then, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong probably, Songa, something like that, his 20th minute goal. Although our defending was absolutely awful, whether you've seen it or not, Sky League 2 have posted the video, because it was an absolute screamer of a goal. Fair play to him, it was beautiful. But he should have been closed down by our defenders. He had so much space. All of our defenders were caught sort of off position, or out of position I should say. And it just gave him the space, and he had a dig, and it was fantastic. So fair play to him, and I'm just glad that we reacted well to the goal, because there's nothing wrong with conceding goals. Okay, maybe there is. As long as you react properly to that goal, and you don't let your head fall, and you fight to the end as we always do, then who cares if we win every game from now until the end of the season 3-1? I won't moan at all. I won't moan at all. And then, was it Lavelle, I think, there? I think he might have been their captain. I should really look into all these things before I keep saying I think on these videos. But Taylor was through on goal, last defender being Lavelle, tugged his shirt so blatantly obvious in front of the lino and the officials and the ref. The ref had no choice but to send him off. And, you know, we were playing good enough football. I think we would have won regardless of whether there was 10 or 11 men on the pitch. But, you know, the red card helped, no doubt. Sheehan, in the first half, I thought was playing quite deep, which isn't a massive issue. He really was going mad that game. It's nearly like he's got something to prove, because he isn't an out-and-out goal scorer. We all know that. But we all do know he can run, he can turn, he can skin players. You know, he's a good footballer on his day. Yeah, so also, instead of just rattling through who scores goals and stuff like that, the Shepherd on the wing, I think is working fantastic. He needs to work on his crosses. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But he was working really, really well on the wing. And just every time he got the ball, I was hopeful that something good was going to happen. And in all fairness, he was skinning players all over the place and knocking about decent passes and decent crosses. But maybe a little bit of work on the crosses just to make them a little bit more central, you know? Or more accurate, I should say. So the first half was 1-1. But you can imagine what Michael Flynn's team talk would have been like going down to... Sorry, someone's moving something outside the window. It looks like they probably need help, but I'm not going to bother. 1-1 at half-time. Michael Flynn probably went out there. I'm not sure what he would say. I've never been on the end of a Michael Flynn team talk. But I can imagine if he was annoyed, that would be pretty colourful, let's say that. But of course, we're down to 10 men, so, you know, it was ours to lose at that point. And then Sheehan's goal literally came a minute, I think, something like that, after the second half kicked off. And it was beautiful. Carries the ball into the box, cuts in, hits it with his right foot. Bosh, beautiful goal. Really, really nice. Nicely worked. So fair play to Sheehan. I've ripped on Sheehan in the past, not brutally, but I have said I think he's a bit overrated, and he's just shut me up completely with that fantastic goal. And from then, I mean, Morecambe, fair play to them. They didn't drop their heads too much. They still played decent football, but it was definitely our game. It was definitely our game. And then Ellison's goal, subbed on in the 79th minute. Nope. Subbed on in the 69th minute. And he was playing fantastically. He was working really well with Maynard, who obviously also got subbed on that game. And then we all saw the video. It's gone absolutely viral. I've seen pages in the States and pages all over the UK sharing it. It was fantastic. Whether you agree with the way he celebrated or not doesn't really matter. I don't think he's 42, and I don't think anyone's really going to tell him what to do. Maynard flicked on with a beautiful little back heel, and then Mr. Ellison himself runs up, slots it in with his left foot. Hard goal, fantastic goal. Absolutely blasted it. And he ran half the length of the pitch, all the way up to his former manager, who, by all accounts, treated him somewhat unfairly towards the end of his time at Morecambe. And he had some choice words for Morecambe's manager. I think Michael Flynn mentioned he didn't leave the pitch, and I don't think he said anything insulting. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully nothing comes of it. I mean, he might get into trouble for it. Might be a little slap on the wrist or a couple of grand fine for him or something like that maybe. But you could tell it meant a lot to him, and he shows no remorse. He's all over Twitter saying how good it felt, and he's using the hashtag karma. So, you know, if that's what he wants to do, that's fine. I loved it. I think most county fans did love it. Even some of the Morecambe fans did, to be fair, because I don't think their manager's the most liked person in the world. But hey ho. Yeah, Farquharson came off injured. Michael Flynn said we'd probably have more of an answer on the extent of the injury Sunday, Monday. So hopefully he's okay, but he sort of put his hand up and said, ow, I need to come off, just to not make the injury any worse. So hopefully he's nipped in the bud, caught it early, and a couple of days, hopefully he'll be ready for the next game on Tuesday, which is Port Vale away, by the way. And then one other thing, Lewis played fantastically. I know he's on for Ryan Haynes, and when Ryan Haynes, I assume he's injured. I haven't looked into it again. My research has been terrible. But Ryan Haynes is going to struggle potentially to get back in the team after the goal line clearance that Lewis blasted away towards the end of that game, and just the way he played in general. He was absolutely fantastic. he wasn't quite contender for the man of the match. My man of the match was Dolan again. He plays like a man possessed recently, this season really, and when the team have a good run of form, it seems to reflect the way Matty Dolan plays. So yeah, he's up there for my man of the match this game. Do I have anything else particularly exciting to say? Probably not. We've got Port Vale away on Tuesday, and then I think we're back at the Cardiff City Stadium the following Saturday. We sit 4th in the league now, which is beautiful, beautiful place to be. I think we've got to watch Forest Green because they're 3rd and an automatic promotion spot. As much fun as the playoffs are and trips to Wembley and that sort of stuff, whether we'd be allowed to go or not, as much fun as they are, I would much prefer the stress-free promotion type, please, where we just finish 1st, 2nd or 3rd and collect our £200 as we pass go and go straight to League 1. Anyway guys, I'll leave it there. Waffled for 11 minutes. I hope you tune in to watch the game on Tuesday, because obviously all the money from the iFollow goes to the club. Be nice to each other. Let's not start being horrible on all these social media stuff, and be careful what we say, all right? Be good, be safe, and I'll catch you next time. Boom.
Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.